Right then guys, how's it going, and welcome back to Your Football Predictions, the series where we try and predict all of the upcoming Premier League football. I did miss this week's games, I had a really busy week, but we are back and we're going to attempt a bit of a quick fire video. So those were my predictions from the last time we did a video, which was too long ago to talk about, but I got no correct scores. As always, you guys did better than me. We had, I think, 5 or 6 people who got 2 correct scores, but this week's winners with 3 correct scores are Owen and Kato. So well done to you two. Remember, if you want to be shouted out in my next predictions video, which I think will be Monday, be sure to get your predictions down in the comments below for this weekend's games. But as always, we will run through those games now. Start things off Saturday, 12:30 on BT Sport. We have got Everton taking on Newcastle. So this is a nice and easy one. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton because Newcastle are useless. I've not really spoken about them too much recently, and it's because I can barely bring myself to do it. Steve Bruce, it's just not working. I think we've won once in the last 11 games. We lost against Leeds. You know, we had slightly better play against Leeds, but generally it's just not good enough. You know, I'm gonna say we're gonna lose whoever we're playing. And when we're playing Everton, James scored that fantastic goal the other night, and I think they are 4 wins in the last 6. A draw against Leicester, you know, I think, yeah, I can't see us doing anything there, so Everton 2-0. Next up again on the Saturday, but at 3 o'clock on Sky, we have got Crystal Palace taking on Wolves. So, I think this one could be quite a close game. I was quite surprised. I know I've mentioned already that Wolves' form hasn't been the greatest. Sat in 13th place, the last 6 games, they've not won. Is it 6 games they've not won now? They've drawn 3, they've lost 3. Crystal Palace are actually sat behind them in the table with slightly better form. In the last 6, they've won 1, drawn 2, lost 3. So it could be quite an even game. I've backed Crystal Palace 1-0. I think maybe just because they've got the slightly better form and because they're the home side. But Wolves are definitely missing their main striker at the moment. You know, Newcastle are doing much worse below them, but you know, some of the teams below, Brighton picking up a win, even West Brom and Sheffield Utd picking up a win, so this one could be close, but I've backed Crystal Palace. Next up again on the Saturday, again at 3 o'clock, and again on Sky, so you're going to have to pick between the two, if you've got Sky, that is. We have got Manchester City taking on Sheffield United. We've got 2 teams in good form, and who would have thought I would be saying that about Sheffield United, you know, a few weeks ago. They've now gone and won 2 of the last 3 games. They beat Newcastle, and I've literally just finished watching them beat Manchester United 2-1 as well. They are still 10 points off safety, but you know, considering they're on 8 points and they got 6 of them in the last week, you know, you could say they're definitely, you know, making a go of it. Taking on Manchester City, who, as I say, are also on fantastic form. In the Premier League, I think it's 8 games won in a row now, and that's excluding, you know, FA Cup and everything else. So yeah, they have really switched it on. Are now top of the league. They're a point ahead of Manchester United with a game in hand. So you know, for a team that maybe didn't start the season that great, you know, have switched it on, as I say. I've backed Manchester City 3-1. You know, they're without De Bruyne, but we were seeing, you know, the other night when they've still got even Gundogan, you know, Sterling. You know, they've got so many players to replace. So, yeah, who knows? Maybe Sheffield United can beat the other Manchester side, but I've not predicted it. Next up again on the Saturday at 3 o'clock, but on BBC. So you could watch this one if you don't have Sky. We have got West Brom taking on Fulham. So 2 of the promoted sides taking each other on. 2 teams that are both in the relegation zone. Just 2 points separating them. 5 points away from getting out of the relegation zone for Fulham. 7 for West Brom. 3 points for either of these two would be huge. I've gone 1-1. So I have done my bit. I've sat on the fence. If I had to put a winner down, I would say I would probably go West Brom. You know, Fulham are still intent on just drawing as many games as they possibly can. 7 draws now this season. It is the joint second most with joint second most with Brighton, the team who's drawn the most. West Brom have drawn 5. They've both won 2, so you know it's pretty similar. Yeah, I've gone 1-1. I think if anyone's got the attacking edge to win it, I would probably go West Brom. But I think 1-1 is as likely as any score. Next up again on the Saturday, but at 5:30 on Sky, we have got Arsenal taking on Manchester United. So I've literally just mentioned it. Just finished watching Manchester United lose against Sheffield United, which they will not be happy with because that has left them in second place when they could have gone back to top ahead of Manchester City. You know, their form has been pretty good, very good. But as I say, because of how well Manchester City are doing, and to be honest, how well Leicester are doing right now as well, it's very tight, and just one slip up can leave you there. But it's only 1 point, and there's still a lot of games to go. And no doubt they'll want to beat Arsenal, who I couldn't believe when I saw their form. In the last 6, Arsenal have won 5 in the Premier League and drawn 1. You know, so as I say, Arsenal weren't going too well. Then they turn up and Newcastle give them a nice easy 3 points, and all of a sudden it's looking great. So prediction wise, I've backed Manchester United 2-1. But let me know what you think. You know, I was doing these scores while the game was going on. And despite Manchester United losing to Sheffield United, I still have backed them. Maybe they'll be even more fired up for it because they've just lost a game they shouldn't have lost. Or is Arsenal going to continue their good streak of form? You know, I think it's close. Let me know what you think. And the final game on Saturday night at 8 o'clock on Sky, we have got Southampton taking on Aston Villa. So again, it's another game that I think could be pretty close. Aston Villa are currently sitting in 10th. Southampton are sitting in 11th. Form-wise, again, it's pretty similar. Both teams are a bit up and down at the moment. Both teams are actually on 29 points. Villa have won 1 of the last 5, so have Southampton. Southampton have lost their last 2 games in a row. Villa lost their game the other night. So, yeah, maybe 2 teams who really need to pick up 3 points to kind of get things moving again. And I think a win for either of these two would be a good win. Because as I say, as much as the form might be a little bit hit and miss, they both have had good seasons up until maybe, you know, the last 4 or 5 games. I've gone 1-0 Southampton. Again, would I be surprised if it went the other way? No. Maybe because it's the home side, I've edged it. I don't really know. I think it could be very close. 1-0 for me. Moving on to Sunday now, 12 o'clock on BT Sport, we have got Chelsea taking on Burnley. So Chelsea, Frank Lampard is gone. The new manager is in, and he started off his managerial challenge, job, with a 0-0 against Wolves, which I didn't watch, but I saw plenty of highlights from. I think they definitely had the chances to win it if they wanted to, so I think Wolves will probably be happy with the draw there. Can he now come out and beat Burnley? Form-wise, would maybe suggest otherwise, because Chelsea's form, I know obviously it's a new manager, so it's different, but they've only won 1 of the last 6 games in the Premier League. I know they just got a draw against Wolves. Burnley sat down in 15th place, have actually won their last 2 games in a row, and have won 3 of the last 5. I've gone Chelsea 1-0. I've had, that's what I mean. I've basically just bigged up why Burnley could well win this game, but it's one of those. Chelsea have got the players, and if they go out on the pitch and it clicks, they could well get 3 or 4. The problem is it's not clicking. Can the manager make it click this weekend? That's the question. Would I be surprised if Burnley pulled off a 1-0 win? No, I wouldn't. We've seen them beat Liverpool the other day as well. Could they do it against Chelsea? Quite possibly. Let me know what you think of that one down below. Next up on the Sunday at 2 o'clock on Sky, we have got Leicester taking on Leeds. So I already briefly mentioned Leicester. They're currently sitting in 3rd place, just 2 points off Manchester City in the top spot. Are having a fantastic season. The last 5 Premier League games, they've won 3 and drawn 2, so they're on some great form. There's been a lot of chat about Maddison at the minute because he's actually adding some goals to his game. I saw bits of the draw against Everton. I thought Barnes looked really good. Taking on Leeds, who again have been a breath of fresh air to the league this season. A team who is not scared to go out and attack. I think the last 5 they've won 3 and lost 2, and as I mentioned, they went and beat Newcastle 2-1 the other night. So again, would it surprise me if Leeds got some goals on the board? No. Would it surprise me if they conceded a few as well? No. I've gone 2-0 Leicester. Looking at it now, I'm thinking maybe Leeds could well score a goal, but defensively, Leicester have been pretty good. I'm looking at their goals against, and maybe it's not that great, but that's the theory I had when I wrote it down. I've gone 2-0. Let me know what you think as well. Next up on the Sunday at 4:30 on Sky, we have got West Ham taking on Liverpool. West Ham are playing fantastic, and Liverpool aren't. As I say, I've just finished watching the Manchester United, Sheffield United game, so I've not actually seen Spurs play Liverpool yet, so you'll have to bear that in mind. You will have seen it. Have Liverpool turned it around and bagged themselves a win, or have things got even worse? Because Liverpool have not won in 5 or 6 Premier League games now. And West Ham are currently sat above them in the league, having won their last 3 games in a row. I've bet West Ham to win 1-0. I could well be wrong. It's similar to the Chelsea scenario. If Chelsea's 11 players come out and play the way they should, there's not many teams that should be beating them because there's that many expensive, talented players. Liverpool, Salah, Mane, Firmino, whoever, what a team that is, but it's just not quite out of nowhere almost. We've had so much talk about the defence having issues. Suddenly, it's like the forward players that are having troubles. But for West Ham, Soucek, Antonio, he's back with a bang, literally. So yeah, other than the underdogs, I don't know who would possibly be the favourites here, but I've backed West Ham 1-0. And to finish things off, Sunday, 7:15 on Sky, we have got Brighton taking on Spurs. So, I've backed Spurs to win 2-0. Again, it's another team who aren't possibly playing as well as they should be. They're hoping for Kane and Son to kind of pull them through a little bit. I'm sure Mourinho would like to add or change things up if he could, but again, it's Chelsea, it's Liverpool. If they're all playing right and they're all clicking, it's working. If they're not, they're not getting what they want. You think, Doherty coming in, I was such a big fan of him. I put him in my fantasy team at the start of this season. It hasn't worked. Bale came in, the huge hype around that. Where's that kind of gone as well? So, they are a very good side, and I think they've got the better team than Brighton. But, and you think, no, it wasn't even that long ago what a great run Spurs had been on, and then all of a sudden, they haven't fallen off it. But, a few wins, a few draws, a loss the other day. I think 8 points off top. So there's still time to catch up. And they'll want to do that by beating Brighton, who, again, the last two games, they've won a game and drawn. The drew against Fulham the other day, which 3 points would have been so much bigger for them to push away even further from the relegation zone. But at least they've drawn, so they've not lost points on Fulham. But yeah, and that is it, guys. So those are all of my predictions up there. Be sure to get your predictions for this weekend's games down in the comments below. Try and get them in before the first game kicks off at 12:30. But if you are watching this late, you do still want to get involved. Just get your predictions in for the games that haven't kicked off yet, as I do come back and try and pick up the late predictions as well. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this slightly quicker version of the video, because normally they can last quite a long time, and even now I'm not even sure how quick I managed to get through this one. But yes, thank you for watching as always. Enjoy the football, enjoy the weekend, and I'll catch you later.